HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News, we'll meet new DPW Director Kerry Reed, the Hopkinton Community Summer Band, Rock the Town Common, new employee appointments, and more. But first, the ESBC discussed the features of the proposed new school. The Elementary School Building Committee met to discuss the new Elmwood School. Topics included new energy code regulations.
See that they're really looking at trying to push communities and push new projects down a full electrification road. The other things, the additions and alterations to buildings are now going to be included in the new code for energy to capture the existing infrastructure, because there's they all understand that 80% or 90% of the buildings out there are actually existing buildings. So even though we're building these new buildings that have all these are energy and very good conservation, there's many buildings out there that are not. So that's one of the another one of the things they're trying to hit on is getting into the existing infrastructure that's out there. EV ready parking, they've increased the percentage up to 20% for new. This says new businesses, but it's new businesses and also properties like a school would be subject to. 10% is for the residential. And they'll have two prescriptive pathways to meet this through energy modeling. The first one is the Teddy I mentioned earlier, and the second one is Passive House, which is a higher level of energy. It's kind of like the lead next step up. So those are the two ways that they're prescriptive pathways that they're allowing. We think this for Elmwood, we're going to end up going down the Passive House modeling route, because right now there's a lot of questions about how the Teddy modeling is working and whether or not it's actually showing things accurately. So there's still a lot of conversations about how the Teddy modeling is going to show how the energy use is going to be, the demand will be reduced. The Passive House modeling's been out there for a while, so that's the one that's a little more stable. People understand it, and that's the one I think that we would end up going down that road.
Traffic pattern was amongst the topics discussed at the meeting.
We did obviously collected a lot of data that we talked about again in previous meetings. While drivers are following the underlying speed limits of 40 miles per hour, there's a little bit less of a compliance when it comes to the lower 20 mile per hour requirement during school hours. We talked about the amount of traffic that's on Hayden Row Street. This is the hourly traffic flow northbound and in blue, and southbound in red or orange. And also we looked at how those peak times or peaks in traffic flow correspond to the school start and end times. And as we discussed on other occasions, the roadway traffic doesn't actually peak at the times when the schools start and end. It's actually the roadway peaks outside of those times. So a lot of the congestion that you see that you hear of during school times is not because of the number of cars that are on the street, but it's more about the turning traffic. Cars turning in and out of the schools, the crossing guard stopping traffic to let students in and out or across the street. It's that friction in the traffic flow that causes the rolling queues. It's not necessarily the volume. In fact, if you looked at the morning peak hour, for example, the time when Hopkins and Marathon start, just a little around 9 a.m., a little before 9 a.m., the actual peak happens well before that, around 7 o'clock in the morning. And around that time, you have 700 cars an hour traveling north on Hayden Row Street. At the time when Hopkins and Marathon start, there's barely 300 cars, so it's less than half the peak volume of traffic, but it's just the turning traffic at the driveways that you see as causing some of those congestion issues in that area.
The committee also discussed their proposal for a roadway improvement concept for the new school.
Today you only have one of the RRFB indications. It's just a flashing light, LED light that tells drivers that someone has pushed a button, but it's still an unsignalized crosswalk today. But with a full signal at this intersection, when a pedestrian, a student pushes a button at that crosswalk, all traffic comes to a full stop, and that helps significantly improve safety.
You can view the full meeting at our government website page, hcam.tv/gov. Premiering following this episode of HCAM News is a brand new edition of Out on the Town, where HCAM intern reporter Siddhi Danda speaks with new DPW Director Kerry Reed. Here's a look.
So I know you've served on the Conservation Committee in town for a while, and now you're the new director. How'd you end up in Hopkinton?
I'm a resident. I ended up in Hopkinton. We moved here about 11 years ago. We came for the convenience to the roads and the good school system and a lot of the amenities we have. And I've been in public works now for almost about the same amount of time. So I was hoping for an opportunity to work for my own town. And when the former DPW director left, I just jumped at the opportunity. So that's how I ended up here.
How'd you get involved with public works?
That is a long story. So I've always had a passion for public service since a kid. I think my parents must have instilled that in me. I was in the military. I worked in consulting for a little while, and I just didn't find it to be as satisfying as I thought it would be. I missed that connection to the community. I missed just dealing with different things, not focusing on profitability, like really focusing on the mission, which is, something that we did in the military. And I looked at the projects I like to work on and the people I like to work with, and it was all in the public service. And in the military, we're at the federal level, big picture. And I liked being at the small municipal level because you could really connect with people. You can really see the impact that your projects do. And that's when I was able to transition from consulting into public sector. I worked for the city of Framingham and then more recently the city of Worcester before here. And I did some volunteer service, and I just really like that impact, doing work that you can see the results.
What did young Carrie think she would be doing for a living? How'd you end up, did you always think you'd go into public works before or no?
No, actually. So when I was little, I thought I was going to be a famous author. I wanted to be the next Judy Blume, which when I talk to kids now, I'm like the next J.K. Rowling or something like that. And they all laughed at me. And it wasn't until, I shouldn't say it wasn't, but I thought I was going to be an author. And then in 7th grade, I had a great science teacher. We had earth sciences. So up till then, we were learning about magnets and science and space. And I didn't think I liked science because I didn't like any of those things. And then I took the earth science class, and I really liked it, and it came easy to me. And I had a great mentor. Again, this is 7th grade, who encouraged me to go to this environmental camp that was being sponsored by our local utility, where I grew up. And I went and we toured wastewater treatment plants and water treatment plants, landfills, incinerators, all this stuff that I'd been driving past and never knew what they were. And it really started getting my mind thinking about going into environmental fields, and totally switched from writing and English and that kind to science. But even all throughout high school, when I went to school, I thought I wanted to do environmental science. I didn't think of myself as an engineer. I thought engineers are people that really like math and like to build things and all that stuff, and that wasn't me. And even throughout school, I thought I'm going to be a scientist. And then when I was at school, so I went to West Point. Everybody has to take an engineering course. And the difference between the engineering major and the environmental science major was 2 classes, either engineering classes, which I was doing pretty well in, or like 2 computer science classes, which I did not like. So I kind of fell into engineering. And even in the military, at first, I didn't think of myself as an engineer because we all have that stereotype of what an engineer is supposed to be. And being in the military as an Army engineer, started taking a lot of pride in ourselves. We build it up and all the neat things we did. And I realized engineering is just a fancy way to say that you're a problem solver. So that's kind of how I ended up being an engineer. And now I'm proud of it. And I really kind of define myself as it. But when I was young, you would have never pictured myself in this realm of work. And it probably wasn't, except for those amazing 7th to 8th grade science teachers I had that set me on this path.
Don't forget to stick around after this edition of HCAM News for a brand new Out on the Town with new DPW Director Carrie Reed. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. You're tuned into HCAM News. Don't go anywhere.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance.
Welcome back to HCAM News. HCAM's John Ritz was once again at the Town Common to direct a brand new Parks and Recreation Concert on the Common performance, which you can catch airing already on HCAM. The Hopkinton Community Summer Band recently put on a terrific show. Here's a look. The Hopkinton Select Board recently approved some employee recommendations from Town Manager Norman Kamalu. Here's a look.
The Select Board recently approved a couple of promotions and appointments by Town Manager Norman Kamalu. The Select Board confirmed the promotion of Danielle Cook, the selected candidate for Reference and Technology Supervisor at the library.
Is that we have an opportunity for an internal promotion. And thirdly, the internal promotion would not have occurred without the tremendous support and engagement by the community in the work that Danielle has done for us over the years. So for me, without further ado, I'm requesting that the Select Board confirm the Town Manager's appointment of Danielle Cook as our first supervisor for Reference and Technology Services at the library.
Management opportunities and training, and she shows passion for public service in her day-to-day interactions.
Wonderful, wonderful. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I don't think so. We do know Danielle from the Hopkinton 101, and we're happy to have her take on this new role. So.
The only comment I want to make is we're glad to have you promoted, but given the squirrels and acorns on your shirt, I think the kids in the library are going to love it.
The Select Board also confirmed the Town Manager's appointment of Kerry Reed as the Director of Public Works.
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
I'm very good.
Terrific. Thanks for being here tonight. Mr. Kamalu, do you want to start us up?
Yes. I am respectfully requesting that the board confirm the Town Manager's appointment of Kerry Reed as Hopkinton's next Public Works Director. I am very happy that our efforts were successful convincing her to abandon the Conservation Commission and join DPW. So thank you, Kerry, for making that decision. As you know, the Department of Public Works Director serves a key leadership position in town, strategically directing, planning, and overseeing the operations of the DPW, its staff, and equipment. The director leads teams and takes an active role in the planning, design, construction, and yes, timely completion and maintenance of town's public infrastructure. This includes roads, wastewater collection, water supply, distribution systems, subsurface stormwater collection systems, and so forth. We are presenting Kerry Reed owing to her very successful work at the City of Worcester Department of Public Works as the Assistant Commissioner. Also spent 7 years working as the Assistant City Engineer for the City of Framingham. Prior to that, she worked in the private sector for MEC Environmental and Infrastructure Inc. as a senior engineer, and most significantly, she is a retired U.S. Army officer, worked as an engineer officer for the Army. Thank you for your service. And with that, I present again and respectfully request that the Select Board confirm the Town Manager's appointment of Kerry Reed as Hopkinton's next Public Works Director.
The Select Board approved the Town Manager's appointment of Julia Chun as the Sustainability, Economic Development, and Equity Project Manager.
We're excited to have you here. here, and your resume is obviously stellar. I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question just for fun. So when you think about this position being very new, so innovating a position, as we've all talked about, is, I mean, it's wildly exciting, but it's challenging as well. What sort of sparks your enthusiasm as far as potentials here in Hopkinton?
Absolutely. So I'm a big ideas person. I love thinking outside the box and getting to collaborate with stakeholders, residents, with businesses, and even just parking here on the main street. I got to see all the exciting construction, and I think that one of the challenges and one of the most exciting parts of work like this is that you get to draw a vision with community members, and you get to bring in new businesses, new ideas, new revenue, while preserving the heart of the town. And so that is something I'm really looking forward to doing. I think the other thing is that I grew up right around Northborough, Boylston, and so I took advantage of the Hopkinton State Park as well as the Whitehall State Reservation, and so I love the nature as well as the business opportunities here. So I look forward to working with all of you and the residents here to make sure that we're not only preserving Hopkinton's character, but bringing in new ideas.
Great opportunity for Hopkinton High School students to increase leadership skills, educate on mental health and substance prevention, and they'll learn advocacy tools. It'll take place August 8th and 10th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Hopkinton Town Hall. For more information, you can check out our website, hcam.tv. Hopkinton Family Day is Saturday, September 23rd, 2 to 9 p.m. Fun for the whole family, including live entertainment and some great food and a terrific fireworks display. That's Hopkinton Family Day this year, Saturday, September 23rd, 2 to 9 p.m. We have a couple pictures of the week. The Hopkinton Community Summer Band performed at Hopkinton Parks and Recreation 2023 Concerts on the Common series. We have a big, beautiful photo gallery of the festivities at our sceneinhopkinton.org page. Big thanks to Denise Antaki for sending the wonderful photos. Also, congratulations to the Hopkinton Hillers 12A softball team as they won the Twin Valley Championship this past Friday night. Due to heavy rains during the week, the semifinals and finals were played back-to-back, but Hopkinton able to defeat Ashland and Westboro to capture the title. This photo, courtesy of the Hopkinton Little League Facebook page. A big congratulations to the Hopkinton Hillers 12A softball team. Upcoming town government meetings include on Tuesday, August 7th at 7 p.m. We'll have the planning board meeting live on HCAM TV. And on Thursday, August 3rd at 7 p.m., the school committee meeting live on our HCAM Ed channel. To view all upcoming town government meetings, head over to hcam.tv/gov. And for more information, you can head over to the town website, hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we're out of time for this edition of HCAM News, but don't worry, next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. As always, we thank you for tuning in. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you again soon. And don't forget, a brand new edition of Out on the Town with the new DPW Director, Kerry Reed, is coming up.
The Hopkinton Public Library Foundation hosted the annual Touch a Truck event. A huge turnout was on hand to check out the trucks, enjoy the food, and have some fun while supporting the Hopkinton Public Library.
Hopkinton Touch a Truck today. We're selling lots of stuff from Bird's Nest Italian street food. We have a couple of sliders, meatball, chicken parm sliders, mozzarella sticks, spinach artichoke bites, fried raviolis, and mac and cheese bites. Am I forgetting anything?
No, you got it.
No, so that's what we're serving up here today, hot and fresh. Come touch a truck and grab some of our food, Italian street food, Bird's Nest.